My name is Andrew Christian. I teach over at Saguaro High School. I've been a teacher in the district for over 20 years. I like to take a lot of the subjects that we're doing and actually have some sort of activity so the kids at the end of each unit can apply what they've learned. So we do a lot of different activities where I have the kids at the end of the year actually run, design, and talk about some sort of experiment they've done. So they take everything the whole year and are able to apply it to a project. When I can have them actually take these projects and create them themselves, they find something they're interested in. So they choose what they want to do the research on and do the project on, and they get super excited about it. They like to see their data and analyze it and see the results and show everyone what they did because they chose that project. Teaching math for 20 years, the question is, when am I going to use this, comes up all the time. And I say to the kids, what do you mean? When are you going to use problem solving? You're going to have a lot of problems in life. None of the problems are going to be identical, but you're learning a process on how to come to see something that you've never seen before, apply something that someone has taught you, and solve a problem. That's how you get through any aspect of life and any problem in life. So it's not necessarily this concept that you're going to use, it's the process we're going to use. And that's why I like to take some of these things and do some sort of activity with it, so then the kids can take it and say, all right, here's everything we've learned. Can we apply it to this activity now to get ourselves through it and figure out some solutions? Kids will come into my class and they'll say, oh, I did this in this class, or I did that in that class. And I say, yes, because this is not just in my room here, this is used everywhere. So these kids come in and to be able to relate it to something else, that's what it kind of allows me to do, to find these projects and do these projects, and they can see that, oh, okay, it is something that's not just in this room here, it's something off somewhere else as well. It's out in the world. Right now I'm doing something where we're doing some M&Ms, and we're going to do a little statistical analysis on where do we think this is found in M&Ms. Just like another language, to think about what to write and to do it, that's what takes a lot of practice. And that's what is really neat about the project-based class, the lab-based class that I have, is these kids are in there and they're doing. And that's how they're getting better. That's how they're learning this, as opposed to listening to me, because I've sat through tons of classes where you listen, you nod, and okay, and then a week later, what was that again? But by these kids doing this stuff themselves, it really is helpful and beneficial. When I first start, I'll try to select the groups so I can have kids who I think are going to work together. Oftentimes there are things I do is I will randomize 100%, where I have a bucket of numbers, and I'll have, if there's groups of threes, I'll have 3 1s, 3 2s, 3 3s, 3 4s, and then they pick them out and all the ones are in the group. So what that allows is complete randomization, so that friends don't get with friends. We don't, kids aren't get stuck, and some of my bias is taken out of the equation as well. And then oftentimes we will have the discussion. If a kid is doing more work than other kids, we'll have the discussion with all of them and try to resolve that. Or what I'll sometimes do is I will give tasks within the projects, and I'll have the kids write down, here's this part, and then I'll have the person's name who's doing that part. So I break it up so that each person in the group has some sort of task. So at the end of it all, everyone knows they're responsible for their part. By giving everyone a task within their groups, it allows each person to have that responsibility. Can't just force something into every single lesson. Let's say I'm going to force a project here, I'm going to force a project there. They have to be things that the kids can relate to and things that make sense. So for a first-year teacher, I would say, find something that you're comfortable with and say, let me try this there. Oftentimes you will see that when you start breaking these kids, if you work them in groups or you work them individually, there are going to be some kids that take to it better than others, similar to other types of learning, where some kids, when you're given notes, some kids are fine with that. So with everything, your goal is to try to reach all the kids. So this is one of the other tools you can use to try to reach some of those other kids that might not have gotten it in other traditional ways. Thank you again, and welcome to TUSD.